What's going on, everybody? It's Chip again. Howdy, howdy. So, I don't know if it's just me, but let's be for real. A lot of things lately feel like they're broken, and there's just a lot of things. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. It's just something that's been on my mind, and I guess it's just me venting it out. So, if you're ready to hear me rant again, then let's get started. So, I know I've already talked about dating as a whole, and I don't want to be, beating a dead horse, or however the phrase goes, but I thought it was just maybe an issue with me, trying to be like, maybe it's a skill issue type of thing. But the more I talk to family, friends, and acquaintances, I see that it's not just me, it's just a really big overall issue that's kind of everyone's dealing with it. And you're talking like people that are straight, gay, like multiple people. So I've heard from all over that it's just not working out. It feels like the system's broken when it comes to dating. It feels like it's not what it used to be. For example, if you're like Gen Z, you could probably talk to like your parents or older siblings, and I'm sure they could tell you how it used to be. You meet someone at a third space, which is a whole nother topic. That's not even a thing anymore. Or you go ahead and meet a friend through a friend type of thing. You could talk with people that way. But the point is, like, you got judged for who you were as your character. There was no prerequisites or anything, biases, I guess a better way of saying it. But I feel like things have changed now. Like your parents could probably be like, yeah, I met your mom when I was out at the movies or driving around. Like, good luck trying to find anyone that's up and about. That's not an impossible thing anymore. I mean, I guess you could say it's like, oh, there's still clubs and stuff, but like clubs, no one wants to be there. It's kind of like just the new third space, but it's not like anyone wants to really be there. It's a mess. It's overpriced, and everyone's just drunk. You're not really meeting an authentic person. I don't know about you, but I mean, if you go to a bar or a club, how many times do you meet someone, the conversation's going good, even if it's just like friends? Do you ever reach out to get them after? It's kind of just like a done deal. You never reach out because it's like you weren't really being your full self. There's kind of like a front you put. So that, leaves us with the first problem of no third spaces. And then there's the whole next issue of like meeting people. And that's where the issue of like dating apps comes in. I'm sure I sound like an old head talking about like, oh, I don't like dating apps or social media. But I mean, to be fair, it has ruined things for everybody, like a lot. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you met someone and they were looking to date and they don't find themselves on a dating app because it's taboo not to. People look at you weird because we don't trust anybody anymore. We have a no trust society, so we kind of just like have our guard up and think someone's just out to stab us in the back again. So you'll go on a dating app, but again, only so much. You can only tell so much by like a handful of pictures and like three prompts. You don't really know like their issues, the trauma, the I guess baggage they have because everyone has baggage, and that's kind of stuff you get to know through time with someone and work through over a prolonged period. But you don't really even get to do that anymore because now it's either you invested X amount of time on dates right off the bat to even get to know them, and like, do you want to cut your losses, which a lot of people don't, and now you got people in toxic relationships, if you even get to a relationship. I mean, that's without the issue of ghosting, which is a whole nother issue in its own right. You get ghosted, and now you're over here wondering, is there something wrong with me? But at the end of the day, it's just our own internal issues we're fighting, and it just feels like it's not working. So I guess that goes back to how I was saying, like, I've talked to people and say, like, is it just me? And no, you'll hear those that are relationships, it's toxic, they're fighting, but again, they're already so invested that they don't want to start new, so they'll just keep circling back to the toxic relationship. First dates feel like now if you're not throwing out a band, you apparently don't care about them. But again, you don't even know them yet, so like you can't even do a simple coffee date because now society has this image of like, no, if they're not doing this, they don't like you. But it's like, how do you know I don't like you? I don't even know you yet. So like you're already like in the red the way you're starting. And then there's the whole trust issue too. You could be a loyal person, but you feel like somebody's over there in their DMs gonna reach out to them, or they're thinking something that's happened to you, so you have this guard up the whole time. So you don't even get to become vulnerable and get to know each other. So you don't even get to really experience a genuine dating experience. And right off the bat, you're starting on the wrong foot. And again, you see that a lot of people like, I hate dating apps, but everyone's on it. I want to meet someone, but no one's out. Oh, I'm just gonna stay home. I'm just gonna doom scroll on my bed. I don't want to go out. It's too expensive. I don't want to spend money. And it's just like, so third base, that feels broken. Dating, that feels broken. Even genuine connections feel broken. So it's just very frustrating for the newer generations. And I feel like it's only gonna get worse. Not to be like a a doomer or anything, but like I'm just trying to say like it feels like it's just the new norm and it's just real frustrating. But I don't like to, complain about things and not try to think of a solution. Every time I have these conversations with someone, I always like to say, "Hey, well, what do you think we could do to fix it?" You know, and nobody really has an answer. But I feel like all you could really do is keep putting yourself out there, not putting that guard up, and not using the experience of someone else against a new person. Like if someone did you wrong, you can't carry it on to the next person. You don't like dating apps, you gotta be uncomfortable and go talk to someone in person. And if you stick at the dating apps, you gotta at least try, but don't lose yourself, don't get lost in the sauce per se and be like, man, no one wants me. So I gotta throw some money out just to get on this date. No, at that point, like it's not even about you, it's just the experience. And that goes both ways. Like maybe a guy only wants one thing, maybe a girl only wants one thing, and like you're just wasting your time and letting your guard down and getting hurt. And again, it just feels like dating as a whole is just completely broken. And it feels like it needs to be a whole like social thing that needs to be redone, or um just a whole like it's a big thing. Like it's not an overnight thing, but I feel like there needs people come to agreement. And I feel like we're all getting there. I mean, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but like dating apps have gone down in users. No one's paying for them anymore. Everyone feels lonely. It's a lonely generation. But at the same time, everybody still wants somebody. You know, that's why you have people keeping toxic partners on this. They're always ready because nobody wants to be alone. Um, but so everyone's kind of, I think, slowly coming to the realization of like, I want something genuine, but no one's really able to face the discomfort that comes with getting that. But again, I think slowly we're getting there. It's gonna take a while, but I think we just need a collective group to just be like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and kind of like not strike per se, but I guess strike in a way. I know there's some of those movements like in Korea. There's that 2B movement, I think they call it, where like the girls are refusing to date and they're not, they're being abstaining from messing around, which is fair. If that's what you got to do to kind of just show like you don't, you're not okay with the dating game, then so be it. It's a step in the right direction, I guess, but it needs to be done, I think, in more places. And but the thing is, people are afraid to get judged by their peers because, like, oh, you're single, what's wrong with you? But nothing's wrong with you if you're single. It's the system that's broken. The courting, the dating, it's not the same anymore. And there's a lot more issues like finances and personal issues and social issues that people still have to cover and carry on their back the whole time. So when they're trying to get dating, it feels like you have to throw in the back burner, like, and it's not the fault of their own. That goes to another thing like uh, marriage. Not everyone's get married or have a family, but as it feels like those that want it can't have it because it's just too messy. It's just too messed up. There's too many other things you have to put it in the back burner, and then you still got the older generations shaming you. Oh, why aren't you married yet? Oh, or why don't you have a family? Where are my grandkids? And it's like, everything costs too much. A house is too expensive. Food's getting expensive. Cars are way overpriced now. And then on top of that, you still got to find the money and time and energy too to date. And then again, if you get past date, then maybe you get to marriage and then maybe you get to family. So there's all this. And everyone's putting the back burner because they're like, I just need to get rent paid. I need to keep my car. I need to eat. I can't worry about taking this girl on a date and she might leave me for an ex, or she might accuse me of cheating, or she might just not vibe with me. Like, these are all things that people have in their own head because again, we don't trust each other. So that's like it's a really sad thing to face, but that's kind of where we're at right now. And on the topic of cost and like living in that, as if it's not hard enough, I feel like another big thing that's broken in this day, like now and then, and I think just around the world, it might maybe just be an American thing, but is like jobs. I feel like economies around the world are kind of like slowly falling and nobody wants to admit it. But I mean, when you're at a point where you're losing thousands of jobs, like I think the last report I saw was the US said in October it was like 109,000 jobs lost. Um, and then it got revised to say it was actually 175,000 jobs lost. Like that's not necessarily like a motivator when you have just a generation who already feels like they're underemployed or like jobs aren't available, and you have more people every semester graduating, so you have more people with degrees getting into a workforce that already doesn't want people with the degrees. So you have just thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people saying, hey, I was told if I did X, Y, and Z, I would have an okay life. And now you got all these people feeling like they have the rug pulled from under them. So again, you're just trying to survive day to day, and instead there's people just fighting and arguing and saying it's your fault because you're lazy. And I think everyone's just tired of hearing that. I think everyone's tired of hearing, oh, I'm not late. I'm lazy. Well, I just wanted to find a job that could pay me enough to have an apartment, which already, again, is overpriced. But no, because I can't afford something because of what they're willing to pay, which again is out of my control. You want me to say it's my fault, and that's a big thing that people are also angry about. People are upset because it feels like the system's broken. It feels like the emotional system we have, the person connection system, and even like the job or society system, it all feels broken. And we're all just kind of doom scrolling to kind of drown out the noise with our addictions, and doom scrolling being one of the addictions. And I think until people realize you got to be uncomfortable with those things of you realizing what's wrong, then you could work on it, you know. But people would rather again doom scroll than face the truth. So I bet by saying all this, you're probably saying, man, Chip's really doomer, real gloom, real black pill. And that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that. I just like to think that we can't really like ignore reality for what it is, um, because then you're never gonna be able to fix what you need to fix, you know. And the thing is, a lot of people, like I said, will rather just go, I'm gonna go doom scroll, I'm gonna go watch Netflix, I'm gonna go on YouTube all day, and I'm not gonna work out, I'm just gonna do my own thing so I could, you know, drown out the noise and just try to make it till tomorrow. But if you keep doing that, the system never gets better, you know. um and I think a lot of people just need to realize, I don't like how it is, but it's gonna take me taking that step. And you know, it's always a snowballing effect, you know. But I think maybe because I personally have stepped away from social media for a while now, other than YouTube, because you know, I just, this is fun for me, it's my little rant sessions, I guess you can call it. um but I stepped away, and at first I saw how it was addictive. Like I kept re-downloading it, you know, with those first couple weeks because I couldn't stay away. And eventually I got over that hill of staying off of it. And since then, I've really taken a step back and realized, man, it's kind of messed up, dating and the economy and everything. And with that, I've really worked on doing what I need to do and face those, I guess, demons, for a lack of better words. And now I feel, you know, I don't get the most people watching this, and that's okay. I get it. Chip's a small stream or YouTuber. But you know, if I can make at least one person say, you know what, let me put that phone down a little more, let me work on my health a little more, let me talk to that cute girl I have class with, let me talk to that coworker that I'm interested in a good, in a responsible way. Remind you, don't go get into trouble. Um, but you know, just take that chance, whether it be on dating or that new pursuit you want to do, or a new hobby. You know, it's, I guess, kind of look at it kind of in a doom mindset, a pessimistic mindset. But it's kind of like, I mean, if it's quote unquote broken, or if it's screwed over already, what harm do I have in trying something I want to do? You know, like I said, I mentioned before, I took a break from YouTube because I burned myself out. And but as I've taken that step back and realizing, well, what I got to lose, here I am again, you know, trying it just because I want to vent. I want to get my creativity out there. I just kind of, I guess, not want to be a motivational speaker in a way, but you know, try to show others like you're not alone if you feel hopeful in this. Like, oh, it sucks, everything sucks, but part of me still wants to feel optimistic. There's got to be light at the end of the tunnel, and I kind of want to be an example of, yeah, I'm with you. You're not alone. Like, you want to see change, I want to see change, and kind of slowly have that snowball, one person at a time. Who knows? Maybe a handful of people better their life, or get that face the uncomfortable emotions or thoughts they have, so they could actually, you know, try to improve. And I think even if just one person takes that, it's worth it for me. And maybe that one person will spread the message to their friends, and on and so forth. And we got a group of people that want to be better, try better, and you know, so I just think that we need to stop being so negative with ourselves. You know, you can be negative with life, be like, oh, this sucks or whatever. You want to be realistic, sure. But I think when we take it out on each other, it doesn't help us in the long run. So I think pretty much what I'm trying to say is, Although everything feels broken and it can be really easy to become hopeless and be like, what's the point? I think it's better if you want to be angry and bitter, then survive and try to be happy out of spite. And what I mean by that is kind of, people get petty sometimes, like, oh, this person's did me wrong. I'm going to do them wrong. And like, oh, I'll show them. Kind of do that in a way, you know, where it's like, oh, society is so toxic. People are so toxic. Everything wants me to be upset. But I'm going to try my best to still keep kicking and still moving forward just to show them. Do it out of spite. Show them out of spite, you know? And you're not doing that in negativity, but you're showing them, like, you know what? I'm not going to give into what you want me to give into. I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's keep on trying. Because if I keep on trying, even if it's a little bit at a time, I win and you don't win. You know, yeah, people could be angry. The people that could be hoping on my downfall, they don't win because I'm still moving forward. The moment you stop moving, even if it's a little at a time, is the moment they win. And I don't want to see that for anybody. I don't want to see it for myself. So if you got something you want to do or something itching in the back of your mind and you need that little push of, well, let me try. Let this be that sign to go ahead and try that. Overall, I just want to see people be less with, I'm just following the system. I'm just doing what people tell me. Here's a new trend. I like what the new trend is because the trend tells me to, or I like this or do this because people tell me to. I think you have a brain, you have your own brain, so you should think how you want. Now you're allowed to take opinions and kind of form your own opinions. But when somebody says, "Hey, you should do this," you shouldn't do it. Like, you shouldn't do it just because. If they say you should and something you want to do, then by all means do it. But if it's just, oh, I'm just gonna do it because they told me to, well then you're not you. You're just a copy of them. And at that point, what's the point of existing if you're not gonna be yourself? You know, be unapologetically you. I think that's the best thing you could do. So yeah, if there's something that you feel like you want to take a chance on, whether that be something small like telling that cute girl you see at every now and then at your regular place you visit, uh, hey, how's it going? Ask her on a date, or ask him, however you roll. I'm not gonna judge. Then do it. The worst case scenario is nothing happens. The best case scenario is you got a really good thing that came out of it. I mean, what do you got to lose? Nothing. But what do you got to gain? Everything. Not to sound crazy optimistic either, but realistically, if you try to make things better for your own life, there's a chance something happens. But there's a chance everything could happen. But it's a guarantee of nothing happening if you don't try. You know? But I think that's all I gotta say here. I guess in my little rant for today. So yeah, society's broken and the world's broken. But the good thing is you could change your own world by your own actions. So I'm just saying, go out and do that. Take that risk. Don't forget to say hi to your neighbor. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on this, negative, positive. I just want to hear y'all's thoughts on, this type of topic. I love hearing what people have to say. You can always learn stuff that way. But other than that, Chip is out of here.